Welcome back to Straight Facts on Friday. The Premier League is back, baby. On a real level? I don't know about you boys. I still feel like a kid when it's opening day of the Premier League season. Whether it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it always gives me a bit of a buzz.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. New signings. Some teams have new managers. It's just that newness, seeing how everything that's led up to this, how it's going to turn out. You know what I mean? So I'm excited.
I slept with the United flag next to me in the kit, socks. I'm wearing them right now, but I'm sitting so you can't see all that. But I'm in my United kit right now. That's a joke.
I like it.
No,
I like
I'm excited for it. Yeah,
viewers,
I'm excited.
Look, hit the like button, people. Subscribe, turn on bell notification buttons. Big up to Hassam's audience that just came over from his channel as well. A few things to talk about today, some transfer news. We're going to preview tonight's game in a bit more detail. We're going to get Staffy and Lawless's predictions for the season, winners, top four, standout player, flop of the season on today's show as well. So make sure you stay with us for the next 90 minutes or so. But the transfer story that caught my eye today, and we've seen Don, or as I like to call him, Brokeback Don, because he doesn't like to give straight answers ever. There is a rumor that Chelsea are showing some interest in Jadon Sancho, Staffy.
Are you surprised? They're interested in everyone. I feel like they're the one team you can rely on if you're hoping one team comes in for a player that you might not want. Hopefully it's Chelsea. But yeah, I've seen that. I don't know how concrete it is. I don't even know the source. I saw the news. I don't know if the source is reliable or not. But I'm not surprised. Sancho had links last week with PSG. Now it's Chelsea. So depends if they want to pay up. Listen, he's not in the best circumstances at United. I feel like it's his last year anyways. I think he'd be open to a move. I think Ineos would be open to selling him. I don't think Ten Hag even wants him, if I'm being honest with you. So yeah, if you want to give us a good 40 mil for him at least. And listen, isn't he, where is he from again? South London? So or something like that. So he'd be close to home, no?
East London, yeah. He would be. I'm not surprised to see it. I mean, look, it hasn't worked out with Man United, and my frustration, in fairness, with Sancho and Rashford and all the players that have underperformed last season before, etc. I'm so over it now. It was in the moment frustration. Jadon Sancho is still highly talented. There's still amazing ability in there. There's still a top player. So, of course, I'm not surprised. Jadon Sancho walks into Chelsea and on paper, because it's always on paper with a signing, becomes their best attacker. He's the most technically gifted. He's the most... Yeah, you could argue Palmer, to be fair, is doing that. But this season, I mean, they're talking about him playing in more of an attacking midfield role rather than the kind of front three that might play. But he walks into it, Sancho, and he's right up there, in terms of his career, what he's done, how long he's been around. He's more accomplished. He just hasn't worked at Manchester United. That doesn't mean it wouldn't work at Chelsea. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see the link. The only thing, the reason I don't see it think it will happen is Sancho is going to want, and rightfully so, because of the size of his name, more than they're willing to pay in salary. So I just don't think. I think they can afford it in reality, but I don't think they will pay the money, because I think their average wage, Dom was telling us in the group chat, is now down to 60,000 a week. So I don't think you can sign players of Jadon Sancho's level and only offer them sort of 60 to 100,000 pound a week. You're never going to be able to pull players of that quality, and you're really not.
He was linked with them last year as well, if you remember, and that's one of the reasons he fell out with Ten Hag, because there was rumors that came out that he had links from Chelsea. Ten Hag wanted to keep him, then didn't really play him in the beginning. So it was like more of like, why don't you just let me move if I'm not in your plans? So they could be revisiting it. I don't know. Listen, I don't know the logistics around it in terms of money, but in terms of player profile and going into they need a little bit more experience anyways. And he's been playing football. He's young, but he's been playing football for a minute. So he'd be better than most of the time. I see people laughing in the chat when you said that, bro, you employ Mudryk. Come on. You employ Sterling in 2024. Come on. Let's not joke here. One thing I'll guarantee you, if he goes one-on-one the goalkeeper, he's squaring it. So I don't know why they're laughing. I really don't get it.
I mean, look, he's better than Madueke. He's better than Mudryk. He's better than Sterling at this stage of his career. I think he's a better overall footballer than Jackson. This Mark Gill, I've heard them say it about 6 different ways. Chelsea fans, that is. I'm not putting him above him. Cole Palmer's a certain argument, and I absolutely understand why. You could make the argument of Nkunku and Neto, but I'll just throw in and say, look, availability. The point is that there is a genuine possibility that Neto misses a third or 2/3 of your season. Sancho would be a better bet in that in terms of fitness level. Palmer's the only one that I look at and go, yeah, do you know what? I'm not even going to sit here and argue it because it's a close call. He could be the better player. But he walks into this. He plays for Chelsea if he goes there 110%.
I think there's still question marks. Like you said, on paper, he's a very good player and he does need to move away from Man United. But I just don't know if Chelsea is that move. Do you know what I mean? That could rejuvenate and revitalize him. You know, he's gone from one sort of tumultuous club with a sort of iffy, well, I wouldn't even say you had a project, but, you know, with the track record of players and signings just hasn't gone well. Chelsea, you know, I think it's just too much of a mess, too many moving parts and players and all sorts going on for him to go in there and be able to hit the ground running and do what he needs to do. Obviously, he's got an experienced manager as well. We'd be working under manager to go work under. I don't think that's the right fit for him. I don't know how much money. What is he on at Man United wages?
200, and with bonuses takes him up to like 200, 250.
To me, I know what you said about his name, and in football, yeah, when you look at it and some of the wages we've played, it's not crazy, but a lot of clubs are tightening their belts when it comes to wages now and trying to bring wages down. You look at Arsenal, have done it. Like we've just said, Chelsea have done it. He's going to have to, if he really wants to get his career back on track and get out of Man United, he might have to take a slight cut, you know, in the 100s, 150, 180. I think over 200 is probably a bit too much. He's really got to repair his reputation to what it was at Dortmund, I think.
Yeah. No, listen, I understand that. And I think that then Chelsea are just not in the... Chelsea just don't have the facilities right now to be paying for a player of Sancho's quality. We know that. Yes, I don't quite believe in the sort of in a pedantic, stringent way they have this 150 policy, because I think someone said that Tosin's come in on 160. That's just in the comment section. But I do believe they're trying to get players in and around that if they can. And Sancho's just, again, he's a bigger name, he's a bigger star than anyone else that they've signed. And Cole Palmer is, if Palmer had the season he had last year for City last season or for Arsenal last season, and then they bought him, he would be getting that kind of huge money. They just bought Palmer at a point where you could get him on lower wages because he hadn't really... Last season was his breakthrough season and he was amazing. When you're signing someone like Sancho, you only have to go and look what he did last year at Dortmund. And the only reason Dortmund haven't come back in for him is they can't afford him. That's just the only reason behind it.
Hasn't Palmer just signed a new 9-year extension or whatever?
2 year. Now it takes it up to 9 years.
2 year on top. So with that 2
years, he was on 7.
Yeah.
Now he's on 9, bro.
So haven't they
I
given
don't know
him?
what kind of contract is that?
Haven't they give him a wage increase? Because if I'm Palmer and I'm sitting there and going, you want me to stay at Chelsea for 9 years on paper? Obviously they could sell him. Like, you want me to commit that? You can better pay me some serious money, because it's obvious he's going to have suitors, and if he rates himself, he has to believe that he's going to get a better move than Chelsea, unless Chelsea really do rise up to his level.
Yeah, the thing with there's a comment that came for a second ago. It's a fair challenge. It was, if Sancho's so good, then why are you selling him? Circumstances. I know there's been an apology, and I think both Ten Hag and Sancho are behaving professionally at this particular juncture. But that still doesn't mean they really want to work with one another. That doesn't mean that Sancho wants to stay. And, you know, generally in life, there's a saying that I think works 99% of the time, which is an X is an X for a reason. And him and Man United essentially parted ways last year. And I think an element of the friendship and the kind of apology has been a way of Ineos trying to get the maximum amount of money, because if the clubs that are trying to buy a player know there's a rift, see there's a problem, they're going to lowball you. And United are trying to get somewhere in the region of 60 million euros for him, which again recoups a big percentage of what we paid for him. So that's why it's going on. But doesn't mean he isn't talented. There is wonderful ability in there. We saw what he did at an unfancied Dortmund team last season. He was one of the key components in a team that almost won the Champions League. That's how good Jadon. And we saw what he did in some of those semi-final games. He was absolutely immense. And that's what I mean by experience. Palmer is brilliant. We've seen him score in Euro finals. They've got him. But when it comes to the rest of their attackers, Sterling's over the hill. They don't want him anymore. Who have they got that have been at that level, played in those circumstances? And that kind of experience is so, so important. But as I think Don alluded to, it doesn't think it's going to happen, nor do I. I just don't think Chelsea at this point, with what's going on with him financially, could afford a player of Sancho's quality.
Chelsea fans are deluded. They want Joao Felix. I'm hearing all of them getting excited for Joao Felix, but then they're sitting here in the chat saying Sancho's not good enough. What the hell has Joao Felix done in the last 4 or 5 years? Like, I don't even get it. Like, genuinely, when I look at it, Sancho's had a disappointing time of his career over the last, how long have you had him for? This is this his 3rd or 4th year? Let's just say 3 to 4 years, whatever it is. He has been disappointing since he left Dortmund. What's Joao Felix done? No, genuinely, because I see them all. Oh my God, we're getting Joao Felix. They're all getting excited in the little rooms on YouTube. Oh, let's talk about him. He's better than Mudryk. And I'm like, Joao Felix in big 2024. It's a bit embarrassing. It's actually a bit embarrassing. This is not the guy that they signed 6 years ago at Atletico Madrid. But now he's sitting here and they're like, but Sancho's not good enough. Neither is Joao Felix, and you want him. I don't get it. They're deluded, bro. Just because Joao Felix went to them and they have some clips of him with Enzo being buddies, let's just get him back.
I agree. Like, Joao Felix is good technically, but Jadon Sancho is better overall. And this is the thing. If in 10 minutes' time we see, here we go, Sancho to Chelsea, here we go, the tune will change instantly. The tune will change instantly. It'll be, oh my God, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. We're going to make him perform. It's going to make... And do you know what? I don't want Chelsea to get him. My biggest fear if Chelsea get him is he starts to perform for them. When we got Jose Mourinho as our manager, a very good friend of mine who's a Chelsea fan, and this was a guy that I knew from I was a kid. He was a Chelsea fan when they were proper bad as well. So he wasn't like a Johnny come lately on, I think. And he was like, I'm so worried that you guys have got Jose. And it's why. He went, if he wins, it didn't happen, but the fear was there. He's like, if he wins that Champions League with you, it is going to hurt forever because of how much I love him. With Sancho, I don't think the same love's there for in terms of what Jose had with Chelsea fans, etc. But imagine he went to a team like Chelsea and killed it. That's going to hurt Man United fans because we were hoping for that. So, look, it may not happen. As I say, I don't think they can afford him as an example, but we'll see. This here says, do you really believe that Sancho is coming to Chelsea? To me, this noise is nothing will happen. This is just a random noise from the media. The thing is, the journalist it's come from, there's no mileage in him making it up. Doesn't mean it will happen, but he isn't sort of, I've seen his post. He's not trying to it isn't, I went through his posts over the last few months. It's not like, you get some of those journalists that, there's a guy that's from Turkey that I follow because I love what he does. It's like he knows about every deal in every league and he knows about it. It's just, I just don't believe him. Does that make sense? Where this guy, it's random that he's come out with it. And when you see these international journalists who don't even tweet about transfers all the time, suddenly come out with these stories, I've always believed there is some element of credibility to the link. But being linked doesn't mean it will happen. What we're discussing as fans is, should Chelsea do it? Would he be good? Because that's what football fans have done for a millennia, in my opinion. And Patrick here says, not every player suits every team or league. That doesn't make them bad players. Lots leave the Premier League and teams thrive. Look at Varane when he moved to Chelsea from United. Did he do well at Chelsea, Varane? I don't remember. I don't think he did.
I was too young for that. I don't remember.
No, he did. He was brilliant before Man United signed him. I thought he was pretty poor at Chelsea as well. Maybe Chelsea fans see it differently. Let us know in the comments section there. But we'll see what happens with it. Viewers, give us hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing as well. One of the other big transfer stories today, gents, that came out just before we went live, really, is that Arsenal are now very close to securing £28.9 million deal to land Merino. Good piece of business, Lawless, once they get that over the line.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad price. Yeah, no, I think the fee is pretty solid. Yeah, good player. It's a position that they need. And, you know, if they go and get that in, that's a decisive piece of business. Obviously, they still need more, which I think they're trying to sell. Getting Nketiah sold, which that deal looks like it's off. Well, it is off. So, yeah, if they can bring in more to that, great. But it's going to be very interesting to see the outgoings. But, yeah, I think this is another sort of strengthened piece of business in a key area. That's going to help them going forward, challenge and tackle the Champions League and the Premier League, you know. And so all the Arsenal fans that say, listen, I never say anything positive, good piece of business, in my opinion.
How about yourself, Staffy? Remember, don't twerk for a rival too hard because we're not allowed to do that anymore, according to Twitter.
It's just like you can't speak about a rival on a show that's. I mean, I've been brought here to talk about rivals, but apparently I can't speak about them because my opinion is irrelevant because I don't support that team. Don't worry about my opinion then. Weirdos, bro. Weirdos. It's too early for this. I'm excited for the Prem today, and I'm talking to weirdos. Not you guys, but you know what I mean. Anyways, Merino. If I said his name correctly, people get so mad at the way I say his name, and I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. But we spoke about this before. Yeah, I didn't think it's really what they needed. He is a good player. But I wasn't sure if that's what they needed. I'm not gonna go through the whole Rice not playing in the 6 again. I'm not gonna repeat it again. I've had enough. I said it way too many times. But yeah, he's a good player. I just don't think he moves the needle for them. So it's like I'm not looking at it and I'm like, wow, like they're winning the Prem right now. That's crazy. No, he's a good signing. It's gonna shape up the midfield a little bit different now because I don't know if they're gonna move Rice out of position now for him or not. You know. Good player. No one really was screaming for him last season, so he comes in. It's probably good depth. He's going to play a part, but it's nothing crazy for them. It's not like the signing of Rice as an example last year where Rice genuinely moved the needle for them. So we'll see. I feel like it's taking way too long, too. Like, I understand the frustration from some Arsenal fans because it's August 16th. They play a game, I think, either tomorrow or Sunday, and they only got Calafiori in. So they're going into the season with just one extra signing compared to last.
Should they expect a needle mover though for that price though? Like really, when you look at it for the price, yeah, you're not expecting the guy like the next.
No, I didn't say they should. I'm just saying the signing isn't a needle moving sign. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a good signing for depth. Like I'm looking at it like City getting Matheus Nunes last year. That's that type of signing for me. No one saw Matheus Nunes go into City and were like, wow, City now like they're actually going to an extra level. No one is gonna beat them. No, like it was supposed to be a good signing. He was actually underwhelming. That's the same way I'm looking at Merino, you know. So good signing, but nothing really to gloat about too much.
What about the theory that Merino, sorry, I keep saying it wrong. I don't even know why it's stuck in my head. And Calafiori are going to help unlock Martinelli. That's what a lot of Arsenal fans think is going to do on the pitch. Is the left-hand side is going to become stronger and more balanced, and therefore Martinelli will get back to his potent best, if not better. What's your thoughts on that theory, Staffy?
I don't know. So for Arsenal fans, I actually talked about this last season, and a lot of people didn't agree with my opinion. I didn't like the year that he had, and I said it early, obviously before the season folded, because you could see at the end of the season that he didn't have as many GA as the year before. And I put my theory down to Havertz going into the midfield at first, compared to Xhaka. I felt like Xhaka was a good partner to him. But then going to this summer, if anything, I felt like if they want to strengthen that left-hand side, I don't think they needed to worry about improving who's around Martinelli. I thought they needed to get a backup or someone to start ahead of Martinelli. So, and I spoke about this a few times. I said, you know, go sign a left wing. Obviously, they were linked with some names, even when they were linked with Rashford. And I'm a United fan. I'm like, you know what? If he goes there, that makes their team better because I think he's better than Martinelli. Obviously, that they were linked with what's his name? The Spanish kid, Nico Williams. I was like, these are all good links because these are all better players than Martinelli. I get it. I get what they're trying to do since Merino's left-footed and they want someone left-footed there to do what Xhaka used to do. So I do get that part. Maybe it does improve Martinelli, but I don't look at Martinelli as that profile for them in that team that is like yeah, he's so important. We need to get him to his best. He needs to get to his best to help him out on that left-hand side because it was Osaka and Odegaard last season. But his level is not that high anyways. Like, I've watched Martinelli in real life about 3 times now. He's a good player. But, like, his best is, like, he's more of a kick-and-run player anyways. I don't look at him and I'm like, he's ready to take the next level. He's not Saka for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Saka, you got to put the best support system around him to make him reach or elevate his game to his best because he does have that in him. I look at Martinelli and he's just a sprinter to me. So I'm not really worried about Merino going in to help Martinelli out. He's not that important for that team like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and it is a big. I think this is a big season for Martinelli. I think all eyes are going to be on him because he didn't have the best of seasons last year. So he has to step up. So yeah, I think that opinion is probably more hope. It's based off of hope than anything else. Because he's he has been a key player in the past, and he's a very popular player at Arsenal. So I think a lot of them are hoping for anything that we can see the best of Martinelli. Martinelli could be back to his best on his own account this season. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think Martinelli is an interesting one. I didn't even, again, Arsenal fans see it differently. I didn't even think he was that bad. I didn't think he was great last year. And you start by saying that. I just thought his finishing was a bit. He had one of those seasons where he just didn't convert enough of the chances. If he scored an extra 5 to 8 goals last year, but every performance was the same, I don't think anybody would be worried about him. He just didn't. This happens when you're young, so I think he's all right. But they've got Trossard on that side as well. But I do agree in terms of winning the league. And I gave my predictions yesterday, and I said that City. I sort of said City to win it. But subject to change, my opinion. And people think I'm talking about the court case and points deductions, and I haven't even factored that into any of my predictions. My predictions are purely based on what I think is going to happen from a footballing standpoint. But it changes for me if Arsenal bring in Merino, which looks like they're going to do, and then go and sign a good forward, a good attacker, a Gyökeres and Ivan Toney. They won't get Nico Williams, but his name was on the list earlier on this summer. Then and City do no more business between now and the end of the window, then I'm picking Arsenal to win it because I think overall they just have so much depth. Then that's what I would say they have done this summer. Arsenal, they've added better depth to their midfield, they've added better depth to their defense. I just feel like they've got to complete their summer by doing that to the attack as well. They've improved on El Neni as an example. I think they've improved in that area. They now need to improve on. In terms of they need to improve on the finishing of a Gabriel Jesus. They need to improve on the overarching ability, finishing and output of a Reece Nelson. And I think if Arsenal can do that as well, then they put themselves in my mind, unless City signs some stars between now and the end of the window, they become the marginal favourites to win the Premier League. It's marginal because there's never going to be much between. These teams are so close to each other anyway. Actually, someone said that to me the other day, that Arsenal are nowhere near City. And I'm like, have we forgot what league tables mean? Have we forgot what a league table means? It's, if you finish a couple of points behind the team and your performances are good, you are not far. You're not a million miles away from them. I find it such a strange
I guess it depends on the context of what they're saying, because if they're saying they're nowhere near Man City in terms of winning the league, then points, that bears fruit. But in terms of being on the level of Man City, who have just won 4 league titles in a row, done a treble, won the Champions League and all of that, they're nowhere near in that aspect. So it depends on what they mean by nowhere near.
No, I understand that. I do understand that they are better than them, but it's this. Yeah, I mean, contextually, you can ask that question. That makes a lot of sense. But I don't think they mean, well, City have just won 4 in a row and done a treble, and Arsenal have won an FA Cup in that sort of period, so therefore they're not near them. I think they literally mean as a footballing team on the pitch, they're nowhere near them, which I think they are. Personally, I think right up there. I really, really do. And Terry, just got my VPN, which
Terry, you're lagging, by the way.
3 p.m. Okay, it will come back in a sec. It's just a bit bad signal. I'll go back to this in a minute when it comes back on my screen. Am I back yet? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're back
for that. Even though we're not sponsored.
No, it's yeah. There we go. Yeah, cool. I use Setanta Sports. I use NordVPN, but I use Setanta Sports. You just do it for your app. It's not like a plug-in thing. It isn't illegal. You just literally sign up via Apple or Android, whichever phone you've got, and then you just put your VPN normally to any of the Eastern European countries, and then you can watch the Premier League 3:00 games. You can also get all the UFC on there. It's wicked. I think it's gone up now. I think they know what people are doing now because they used to stop VPNs. Then they took their own. I think they realized they were like, do you know what? We might as well take the blocker off so people can use it last season. Now they've just upped their prices. I think they've realized that people are using it. So it used to be $2.99, then it was $3. It's gone up this season to $4.99, but it's still very, very, very much worth it, Daniel.
Yeah, I used Peacock, but with Peacock, the workaround is you had to get like one of these prepaid card things where you load up money on an American card and it gives you an American address and all of that, and then you can subscribe to Peacock. So if Setanta, you don't have to do that.
Setanta Sports is you do it via your phone, and then you can log into their website. If you've got smart tech, you can I do it where then I share my phone and put it on my TV screen. So yeah, it's great, and I think it's $4.99 a month, but you get the Prem, La Liga, Champions League, UFC, F1, all the tennis. You get boxing, and there's not even the pay-per-views that are like on UFC are on there as part of it, and it's really, really good to be honest with you. It's really, really good indeed. Right. But there we go. The Arteta quote about Calafiori is wild. What's he said?
Yeah, give us the quote. Don't just say it's wild. We need the quote, man.
He's talking about his aura, and he fell in love with him a year ago.
People are not. I need to be honest with you. Are men becoming that insecure that if another man says I fell in love with him, they're taking it as like romantically, as opposed to I fell in love with what he is as a football player? We are not.
If I said that about a player, you'd be mocking me right now.
No, because I'm. See, the thing, I have nothing wrong with it. I'm very secure within my sexuality. So when I hear another man say something like that, like if I heard you go, do you know what, Lawless, I love you, man. I wouldn't think, oh, are they together? Are they dating? I'd just go, it's a bloke saying another. Like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But what if I said, Terry, I love your aura. I just love your aura, Terry. It's incredible.
The way you said it, Lawless, that's a good point.
Yeah, that sounds a bit,
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things for me where if you were like, do you know what, Terry, when you're on stream, I like the way you conduct yourself. I love the way you host. You've got this aura about you. You just control the room. I'd be like, oh, thanks, mate. So we're putting in the context of what I do for a living. But the word aura is used, and people say things like zesty. Like when people use words like zesty, I just think, why are so many people insecure about their sexuality? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like when people say that's sus, I don't really understand. I know what it means, but I'm like, I don't get it. What's the problem? We were saying this backstage. If you've got something to say it directly. Maybe not in the UK right now. You might end up in prison. But the thing is, say it directly or not at all. I can't. It's crazy to me. I just don't understand it.
But it's like when people would say pause after every word, and it's like, wait, how did your brain even go there when you were saying that?
But it's word, like I moaned about it yesterday because it was annoying me. I've seen everyone kick off about that thing that Arteta did with a pickpocket, and I'm just sitting there like, then you guys haven't had proper jobs. I know the corporate world has changed now, and it is shit. Because you can't have banter, you can't have jokes, you can't have parties, you can't talk to each other in case someone gets offended. But every corporate event I ever went to, we used to have close-up magicians, pickpockets, comedians. It's just a bit of fun. Everyone's going, it's so weird that he would do that to his team. It isn't. Weddings have them at. You go to a wedding, you get people you get pickpockets, you get magicians, you get all sorts of things. Entertainment. I can't believe how strange people are that they get like, that's well weird that he hired a bit of entertainment at a party. Imagine that. Imagine you think that having entertainment at a party is weird. Deep that for a second.
It's just funny.
What's entertaining about? What is entertaining about being pickpocketed? Like someone, your phone's your phone. Oh shit, it's gone.
No, so it's not so much. It's not so much your phone. So we did it at the bank once. We got a pickpocket to come in to do it, like an entertainment guy. And what he did to like the regional director, whilst talking to him on stage, He took the guy's tie off and put it on himself without the regional director noticing. But we could see it. It was brilliant. It was funny because he couldn't.
Apparently, what the reason was this was to teach them they must be alert at all times.
No, mate, I think people are.
That's what the article said.
But why? This is the thing I would say. We all slam the media for these types of stories when it's about our club. It's about a rival club and it's gospel. I guarantee you, I know what he did because I've seen so many leaders in the world do it. He'd have stood up on stage and gone, look, we've got all your phones and that. There would have been a laugh if they're in the room. And he'd go, now that's teaching you all to stay alert, all right? And there'd have been a bit of a laugh. Arteta isn't genuinely believing that
I think he's
is going to make him win the league. I can't have it.
He is the David Brent of the Premier League. That's what.
Oh no,
he is so David Brent. The playing the Anfield, then you never walk alone in the training ground. All of that, like he is so like.
It's just because it's Arteta. That's what I'm saying. It's an agenda thing, and I get it. I made fun of him too, so I won't even be a hypocrite. It's just because
he just comes across like David Brent. You know what I mean? I'm a different kind of ball. Michael Scott in your country, Staffy.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna lie, Lawless. If he was winning stuff, we wouldn't care. Let's be very honest.
Well, that's what
if Arteta has like one Premier League at least under his belt right now, we'd just be laughing about it.
You know what? He's like the Fulham manager who used to rub cheese on players' legs. That's what he's like.
He used to what?
There was a Fulham manager in the Championship. He used to rub cheese on players' legs because he believed that it would stop them getting injured. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's our.
I understand that. I listen. Calling him David Brent does make me laugh. So what? The issue I've got is this. I remember when Brendan Rodgers did this thing because it was recorded where he was like, there's a name of 3 players in this envelope that are going to let us down this season. I know who they're going to be, but do you type thing. And the idea was to make everybody work harder. I don't want to be the name on that list. Or if I am, I want to prove him wrong. Man United fans went, what is that? It's crap. It's stupid. It won't work. And then every Man United fan who slagged it off then got embarrassed because it turned out Fergie had done it about 4 years earlier. So what are we saying here? That only the successful people can use tried and tested leadership techniques to help motivate and bring people together, because all of us have been sent on like bonding exercises as part of a team, but we say now that only the managers that end up winning can do it, or what we saying?
I think not everything that's in the corporate world is something that's like an example to be followed. I think there's a lot of just cringy team building exercises. We've all been through them. And I just think they're played out and overused. Or build a tower out of paper, No,
I understand that. I think some of them are old, but again, I think there's more modern ways of doing it, if that makes sense. I think you know, because there was a lot less to do back in the day, other than go to a pub and get drunk, as well. So now there's so many activities that people could do at work, and a lot of it is just about building relationships and a bit of camaraderie, and that is key. And I don't think it matters that you're a sports team or not. I think that has to happen at all levels. The problem is, whenever we hear about a manager that we like or our coach doing it, I think we go, it's genius. When there's a manager we don't like that does it, we go, it's David Brent. I do think it's shrouded in bias, personally, if that makes sense. Because if you guys start the season well, West Ham, you win your first 5 games, and it turned out it's because he lets players take home his pet gerbil every week, you'll be like, I wouldn't have done it myself, but it seems to be working. You won't have a problem with it because you love him. You love him. You love him.
Okay.
You love him for it.
Prove that it's because of the gerbil.
You want to take home Lopatelli's gerbil now? I want to take it home, please. No.
Like, if Arsenal win the league this season, are we going to say it's because he robbed his own players? Like,
no,
do you know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. But I also don't think. I think people are making a mountain out of a molehill. I couldn't. It's, as you say, it's a bit like this comment. I did see that one comment. I was like, I can't believe that they spoke about it. I'm like, I'm just looking at it and thinking it's trivial. Why are people angry about trivial things? It's very strange. But it does show you're alive. I think it shows you're alive. It shows you don't. I think it shows that Arsenal don't have many problems when people are angry over trivial things.
Do you think they're angry or they're just? Because I saw a lot of people just taking the piss. I saw a lot of people just taking the piss. It's one of them things. It was a slow news day and it was something funny on the timeline, right? And I just shook my head and I was just like, David Brent. That's all I thought.
No, I listen, I get you. I think there is some anger from some people. I think there is definitely some anger. they're all, you know, there's definitely a little bit of homophobia in there as well from people, which I find very strange in 2024. But that is just me.
He's got the dog as well, dog win as well. He's got that.
Yeah, like, I personally wouldn't have. I don't think the dog's a bad idea. I love animals, but I wouldn't have called it win. I'd have given it a normal name. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. Where my new studio is going to be, my dog will be coming to work with me because my dog's always with me. I guarantee when you lot are there, you'll be loving the dog. You won't think.
Listen.
It's a dog. He's great, my dog as well. I can't hear you, Staffy. You turn your mic off, I think.
I said, what are you going to name him? Like and subscribe?
No, he's actually called Rocky after Balboa. But there we go. And I'm getting him a female companion soon. And yes, I'm calling her Adrian. I'm doing it. A bit of a pan homage to the greatest movie ever. Zesty. Zesty. I just don't even get it. Do you know what? I'm one of them people you can call me Zesty, and I don't care because I'm very comfortable with myself. If anyone acts angry about it, it's like, oh, what you hiding, bruv? What you hiding, bruv? I always think when anyone like reacts mad about it, it's like, bruv, what are you saying? And there's nothing to hide. We're all friends here and all welcome on TF. No, I should call her Scary. Yeah, I call her Scary. That's a great one, Sophia. That's what we should do. Some breaking news from Matt Law, according to somebody in the comments section. I haven't verified it myself yet, but I'm going to put it up on the screen. Where has it gone? This here says that Chelsea are hopeful that an agreement may be struck to sign Victor Osimhen. We'll verify and check if that's true, but if they pull this off, Lawless, that's a good bit of business for them.
Well, it depends the price for me to whether it's a good bit of business. Like I said before, it's a position that they definitely need, because as much as Don hypes up Nicholas Jackson, whilst also saying, yeah, he'll get over 10 goals, great striker, they do need that position filled. Osimhen, a lot of promise before. I don't know, man. I have doubts whether he'll come into this Chelsea team and do what they need to lead the line and, you know, be their goal scorer in the Premier League. Especially, it might even take him some time to adapt. Even he may do that, but for this season, they need to minimum get in the top 4 this season, right? With all their financial stuff going around, they need to get top 4. I don't know if for season 1 he's going to be firing them into the top 4. That's just me.
Yeah, what do you make? What do you make of it, Staffy?
I'm not a big fan of him. I said that before, but they do need a striker, and I do think he'll bag enough goals to help him. He's not my type of striker. I've watched him enough. It's just one thing that stuck with me is like that performance that he had in the AFCON last year, and I know that's not a good barometer to judge someone by. You shouldn't judge a player by just one international tournament. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's the reason why I think he's shit or anything. He's not shit. I just don't really like him too much. But in fairness, they need a goal scorer. They don't have a goal scorer. Nico Jackson, as much as I like him, he's not a good goal scorer. They have a lot of creators in that team. So I can look at that and say, yeah, if he finds a way to get some type of form in the league and translate what he did 2 seasons ago from in the Serie A to the Premier League, he will get goals. Yes. Is he going to be, I don't know, 25 goals plus in the league? I don't know. But they do need a goal scorer because everyone else around them that they have right now, they have a decent support cast in terms of creation. A lot of their wingers are creators. They got good players in the midfield that could create. They got Cole Palmer in that team. Yeah, he's going to come in and he should find it easy to score goals. They did create a lot of chances last year, even though they won't play the same way they did. But I've seen some of these players come in and actually put the ball on the plate a lot for Nico Jackson. He's just not a good. He's not a goal scorer. He's more of a link-up striker. So they need a different profile. I don't like him, but it is a signing that they need. And Lawless made a good point. Excuse me. Lawless made a good point. You're going to look at it being a good deal or not based on how much they paid for him. Now, I really don't care. When I talk about players, I kind of want to talk about how they are as footballers, their abilities, regardless of their price. But if they have to spend like 100 mil on him or something like that, I don't know if Chelsea even pay that type of money anymore since they did the Enzo Caicedo deal. But I'll look at it, but like the value for money, in my opinion, is not there. But just pure football, they do need someone like him.
Yeah, I think he could be. He's a player I like. I don't think he's the most. I don't want to use the word dynamic. That's not what I'm working for. Versatile player. I think he's got a good first touch, good amount of speed and acceleration, good finisher, good on one-on-ones, good spatial awareness. He's a good number 9 a very good number 9 in my opinion. And I agree. I think they've got a very decent supporting cast, and they had so many chances last year that if Jackson was putting them away, they could have found themselves in a Champions League spot, and Chelsea need that Champions League money. Genuinely, they have another year, maybe 2, without Champions League football. With the length of these contracts and therefore the lack of new income coming into the club, they could find themselves in a really difficult kind of space and situation. So I think it's a no-brainer. I also think it can help Chelsea's minds relax over this kind of the rumors of they're not going to pay anyone above 150,000 a week that they sign. They bring him in on 250,000 and he comes in and he does well. I think it also shows that they've had kind of a change of strategy, or that rumor has been put to bed. So I think it's something that they can kind of relax about. But yeah, I've seen a few other of the Chelsea aggregators tweet the news. I haven't actually seen Matt Law say it yet, so I haven't personally verified it. But if it's true and I think they're bringing him in, fair play. I think it's an excellent signing. I think the Tosin's been a good deal. I think Dewsbury Hall's been a good deal. Neto, when available, will be excellent for them. And I think overall, you then look at it as a summer and go, good, potentially a very good window for Chelsea when they start to play. They've improved the aids, they've improved the technical floor. And if Maresca can get his system working quick enough, who knows? They could have a very good season, Chelsea, with someone like him being the kind of cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. So, yeah, very good piece of business for Chelsea.
Apart from West Ham, I'm interested. I'm most interested, excited, intrigued to see Chelsea more than any other team this season.
Excited?
I don't want to say excited, but I'm
curious.
I'm yeah, very curious. Like,
okay.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, when I say excited, like, I want to see what this Chelsea team's going to be like. Because out of every other team in the league, I just don't know what to expect. Like, it could be, a massive success and they could, hit them heights, or it could be a disaster. It is so interesting. And I think that's why there is a lot of talk about Chelsea lately, because of what they do off the pitch is so intriguing. But now going into the season, just what they're going to look like, how they're going to perform is just so interesting. So
I agree with you.
I'm
excited.
I would use the word excited as well, though. I'm very excited to see how it goes, because people that don't, everyone's involved with content creating. If you're watching now or you're on the panel, because you're all here. But there is a part of me now that this is my job where I do think about the content. I'm not going to lie, in the sense of, if Chelsea are good, what's the reaction going to be? If Chelsea are bad, what's the reaction going to be? What if Chelsea are just meh? Beige, nothing. What's the reaction going to be? I'm excited about what they might do, what the reaction could be, what the conversations are going to be like. Because I love my job, and I'm very privileged to have this job. So Chelsea, yeah, they're definitely a team this year that I can't wait to start watching, to see how they perform, and just to follow the discourse and the conversation around it. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And again, you couldn't do our job if you're not interested in the discourse around football. It'd be weird, wouldn't it? It'd be very strange if you weren't interested in what people have got to say. Super chat here says, first of all, goes back to Nav, says, Chelsea what are doing, making everyone hear the noise for Felix is a distraction. 5 minutes later, breaking news, Chelsea signed Victor Osimhen. Felix, to me, is just a sweep and steal for Osimhen.
Interesting. Yeah, they want to sort of make it look like they've got other options, so they can try and get the price down and bait them into.
I think what they could be doing is they want to get rid of Gallagher. I think it's almost like they're using the João Felix negotiations to keep Ati there. But I think what they're probably also doing really hard is trying to find a new buyer for Gallagher at the same time. Say Spurs come in today and go 50 million. I think Chelsea will go, see you later, Ati. See you later, João Felix if Conor Gallagher's willing to join, and they'll just drop it like a bad habit. Because I just feel like if you really wanted João Felix, if he was an absolute top target, could have gone for him weeks ago. It just feels a bit, I don't know if weird's the right number, right word, but something about it feels a bit off. And that's not even a dig at Chelsea. I think it might end up being a good strategy. Agree, Terry, but that slot photo, though, I will admit, that slot photo, it did make me laugh. It did make me laugh.
Now
but
that...
again,
what was that pose?
It reminded me a little bit. Do you remember? You probably don't know who this guy is, Staffy, because he was famous here. But do you remember Louis Spence?
Yes,
he was this gay dancer that was on our TV shows for a while over here, who was just exceedingly eccentric and camp, and was always like he was funny, right? He'd be on like a TV show. There was no reason to dance, and for whatever reason, he'd start doing the splits and dancing for no reason all the time and flicking legs back. It gave me that view, but. Yeah,
what was the direction from the photographer? I want to know what he said to him. You know, like photographers when they go, what was that? Maybe he said Louis Spence. Give me a Louis Spence.
Give me your best Louis Spence impression. It's I don't know what happened to Louis Spence. It's because he also used to speak like this as well. Like he had kind of a weird lisp. And he did a show, and at the beginning of it, the opening thing was "Let's dance," and I mean, he was just such a strange but so again in England stuff when it comes to TV, we've always had these like quintessentially eccentric Brits that have been on TV, and he was one of them. He was a funny, like he'd be on like a serious TV show and then just start ballet dancing and doing the splits. And he's like, "What are you doing, bruv? There's no need. You're a good dancer though." Yeah, it was so funny. Man like slot, you know. You three are clueless. Sancho does not get in the Chelsea first 11. Chelsea want 60 million for, I think he means for Madueke.
Madueke for 60 million.
Yeah, they put a price tag of 60 million on Madueke.
And we're the clueless ones.
Yeah, well, there we go. Sancho does play for Chelsea 100%. But Nicholas, thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Premier League predictions. We're going to start off with a fun one. Lawless, who's your flop of the season? Can be a player or can be a team. And just to premise what I mean, who do you think is going to fall short of the expectations upon them today?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think if we're talking about outside the big six, it's Villa. I think Villa have got a lot of expectations going for them, and I think they're going to find out that juggling the Champions League and the Premier League, it's just, they're not ready. They're not ready for that. So I would say definitely Villa. Otherwise, I think Chelsea out. If we're talking about big six or whatever, you know, we're talking about them needing to get top four. I don't think they're going to get it. So it's going to be interesting.
How about yourself, Steph?
Flop. Player or a team? There's two teams that I'm expecting to flop. No agenda. Chelsea's one of them. I just have a principle where I don't like when a team changes too many players and a manager at the same time. It's just been a thing that's just always been how I approach it. And I actually said the same thing about United last year. I felt like we changed too many first teamers. That's why I didn't think we were going to have a good season. So Chelsea. The other one is a certain team. They have a rep that's sitting here on the panel with me. You know, all these signings.
Man United, eh? Interesting.
No, I would have said my team. But a certain West Ham. By the way, for someone who doesn't live in England, I find it very confusing that your name is West Ham, but you're from East London. Why? When I was tweeting you the other day, I was going to say West London's finest. I was like, wait, I think they're in the East. Why.
So in East London, there's a place called West Ham and a place called East Ham within East London. It's a town in East London. Yeah.
And West Ham used to be the borough, so now it's called Newham. It used to be called West Ham, the borough.
Okay. Because I was trying to troll him the other day, and I was gonna say West London's finest. I was like, I could swear they're from the East, but let me double check. Let me go on Google Maps and check real quick. But no, on a real though. West Ham, listen, I'm sorry, Lawless. I don't like all of your signings. This is the logic that makes no sense to me. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I hear people saying, "Oh, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to improve that team."
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
He wasn't even good enough to make us a consistent top 6 team.
No one is. No one is.
He's not, bro. He's not good enough. But forget him. I like some of your signings.
You're hyping Sancho. Sancho weren't good enough to
hold on 1 second. You're getting defensive. Let me finish before you answer, okay? Because I understand it's your team. Your face is already turning red. Let me tell you, I like some of your signings. Todibo, good signing. Somerville, good signing. Who else did you sign? I think there was. Did you make a signing in your midfield? There's one more player that you signed, and I was like, that's a good signing.
Rodriguez on the free transfer.
Maybe I don't remember, but those two at least, I like those signings. I look at Fulkrug, bro. This guy's gonna flop hard, bro. I'm telling you, sorry, Lawless. This guy, if he scores 8 goals for you this Premier League season, wallahi, that's a good season. Because I don't even expect him to get that. Kudos moving to the 10. Lopetegui, who only managed 8 months in the Premier League before. There's a lot changing at once.
Why did he only manage 8 months in the context?
I don't like. Say that again.
Why did he only manage 8 months in the Prem? Let's have the context.
No, but that's not what I meant. I understand there was reasons why he left because Wolves wasn't giving him signings. When I say 8 months, it's because I'm trying to state that he doesn't have a lot of Premier League experience. There's so many managers in the league that I rate over him. So it's like I'm looking at him, I'm like, what indication do I have that he's better than what? If you're finishing top 6, it means you're better than about 14 other managers. I don't think of it that way. I generally don't think.
How many of them have a Europa League?
Europa League?
Yeah, won a European trophy. How many of the managers, the 14 others?
I mean, bro, I think Glasner won something. I think obviously Unai Emery with Aston Villa. Yeah, Glasner won something. I think Arne Slot, but that's Liverpool. Did he win the
Eddie Howe ain't won shit.
Who?
Eddie Howe.
What about him?
He ain't won nothing.
Yeah, but he has a better squad than yours.
I don't know.
I just listen. I'm really not trying to hate. Listen, I consider you a friend now, so I do want your team to do well. I have nothing against West Ham, but I'm not gonna lie. The West Ham hype is actually getting me annoyed. I actually think Brighton are still better than you. Look at the signings that they've made.
Brighton,
they've maintained, bro. They made very good signings, bro. Made very good signings. Their midfield. I think Brighton are gonna have a very good season. And I say very good. I'm not expecting them to crack top 4, top 5. But I heard you say, Lawless, you want your team to sneak into the top 5. Lawless, you are not better than 75% of the league, Lawless. You're really not, bro. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but you're really not. I think you should be in the top half of the table. Yes, I'll give you that. But 5th, I'm sorry, bro. Based on these expectations alone, I think West Ham will be considered a flop. Just because you guys are holding them to very, very high regards. Well, and you're not the only one. I'll give you that. There's a lot of people that did that.
Listen, it's the first year, right? Phase 1 of our process, right? Phase 1 of the process. No, that's the thing, right? That's allowed. We got that. That's the thing. We're in phase 1 of the process. You're not building no
future project, Lawless. Some of these players are like,
how are we not? How are we not?
Because you look at some of these signings, Lawless. Listen, you're not really building something within the next 5 years to compete for the league. You're just trying to have a good team for now, so you can probably reach Europa League, Conference League. And I hear that. I actually think if you reach any competition, that's a success.
We signed Lewis Gilherm from Palmeiras for like 25 mil. Like he's like seen as a future prospect. 19. People are calling him the next Neymar. Yeah, like I said, Somerville is a young player. Todibo, come on, you're the guy you guys were shaking your ass for.
I said it's a good signing. I already said that.
Okay, I'm just saying, yeah. You're really, I think, going to be surprised. We had a really good team of players last season, right? But they were playing Moyes ball. They were going to be unlocked with Lopetegui playing better football. We would have probably finished higher as well if our defense wasn't such a shambles. We're rebuilding our defense. We scored a lot of goals, but we conceded a lot of goals. If our defense wasn't it was the worst defense outside the bottom 3. If we didn't leak as many goals, we would have finished in the top 6. But there we are. So we're rebuilding that. So listen, just don't sleep on West Ham, yeah?
I'm not, bro. I'm sorry.
It's a fair opinion. For me, yesterday on top 6, I said that my underperformers are going to be Tottenham. My flop, though, and you could argue Spurs are going to be in that, but that's in my head. I'm just thinking that underperform.
Why do you think Spurs are going to flop?
I say they're not making the top 4, and I think that after the start they had for last season, where they finished last season, the next thing for them is to. I don't even think they're going to be in the race for it. I think mathematically you go, oh, they're only 8 points, 9 points off. But I think they're going to be a team all season that we just go, nah, not good enough to make it, not consistent enough. The other team, it's a weird one, Crystal Palace, and it's not even their fault. What they did towards the end of last season was amazing, but Mark Gahey's going to be gone. I still got a feeling Eze will go before the end. I think a bid will come in. Elise has left the football club.
Anderson's linked to it.
Anderson looks like he's going to go as well. And I just feel like they're going to, and I feel sorry for them and their manager, but I think they're going to be pillaged to a point and ransacked where and then they're going to try and play that same football. And I just don't know if the quality is going to be there. And then what will happen when you try to play more open with a lack of quality, you get absolutely ripped apart. So I think they could end up having a really poor season because, unfortunately, I think we know Elise and Eze are good, but I think what's happened is that the manager has allowed us to see, bloody hell, there were some really good footballers in there. Some really good footballers, and other clubs have jumped straight in and taken them away. But viewers, give us your thoughts on flop of the season. Top four. Are we all going to agree before we go any further that Arsenal and City will definitely be in it?
100%. There's no doubt.
Cool. So we can leave them out of that conversation for now. Yeah. Staffy, who are the other two teams that are making it into the top four and guaranteeing Champions League football, in your opinion, bro?
I still think Liverpool have too much quality on the pitch for me not to consider them third place. If there's some more, if we make a couple more signings before the window ends, I might change my opinion. A lot of people were predicting Arne Slot to struggle in his first year, and I hear the reasons, and I've listened to them. I'm like, you know what? These are very good points. But when I look at the quality that they have at the pitch at the end of the day, there's too much experience. Whereas, like, even if it goes bad, I think they'll still be good enough to be above most of us. Because I don't think most of us behind Liverpool from last season have majorly improved. So I'm looking like at the end of the day, they're going to have Alisson on the pitch. They're going to have Van Dijk on the pitch. They're going to have Salah on the pitch. They're going to have Jota on the pitch. They're going to have Trent on the pitch. You know, and they have some decent young players. You know, they have Quanta, who a lot of people predict for him to be a good partner for Van Dijk in the back line. You know, their midfield, they got McAllister there. Forgot to mention him. You know, Luis Diaz, as much as I feel like he gets a lot of hate, he's still a decent player. You know, they have a lot of quality where I look at them and I'm like, when shit hits the fan, some of these players will still find a way to have him in the top four. So I'm going to predict them to finish in third. Now, I flip-flopped on fourth a few times. I didn't have United in there at first, but we did strengthen well with a couple signings. Lawless, you're already smiling. I didn't even say anything. I think we did decent business. Listen, Mazraoui and De Ligt do change a lot. And before people say, oh, you're flip-flopping on De Ligt. No, I'm not flip-flopping. I wanted a statement major center back signing. Don't do that, Terry. I wanted a big center back signing, and I got that in Lenny Yoro. Unfortunately, he is injured. But to have Lenny Yoro as your first option and to have De Ligt as your second option, now my three center backs are Yoro, De Ligt, and Martinez. That is better than anything we had before that. Because before
we heard you trash De Ligt. What are you talking about? You were sitting there running him down mercilessly in that first episode when you was linked to him. I don't want this guy.
You know what, Lawless? One thing about me, unfortunately, I'm a very emotional person. So usually you need to give me 24 hours before I react. But I don't listen. I didn't want him to, for sure. I still stay on that. I didn't want him to be my main center back signing. But if I sit here and I tell you he's not better than having backups of Lindelof, Evans, and Maguire and Kambuala before we sold him, I'd be lying to you. He is a very good option.
If Yoro's injury is pretty bad, then
yeah, he's
going to be your.
Yeah, but he'll be back. He's not dead.
No, he's not dead. But I'm talking about for this season. You're saying fourth, right? With De Ligt as your main centre back. And
I didn't say fourth yet. I'm about to give you my prediction. I'm just saying we strengthened well, and we still might sign a midfielder. So when you look at the business at the end, Yoro, De Ligt, Mazraoui. Listen, I'm sorry. Mazraoui is on the ball. He's miles ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm actually going to have a fullback in the final third that can make a pass, that can square the ball, that can cross the ball, and can shoot on goal. That's something Aaron Wan-Bissaka never got me. And we used to have Aaron Wan-Bissaka so advanced in the pitch. I used to hate it. I knew it was useless whenever we gave it the ball. So to have Mazraoui there, who can play on both sides, and he's very attacking, I think we're going to be creating a lot of chances. And I already seen a change in preseason. So people who always accuse me of being negative, now they want to accuse me of being a flip-flop. Hey, at the end of the day, I don't care. But with these signings and potentially adding a midfielder, I'm looking on all that and I'm like, could we finish 4th? I do think we'll be ahead of Chelsea. That's one thing I'll guarantee. And you guys can listen. I have no problem. We can revisit this at the end of the season. We will be ahead of Chelsea. The teams that I'm not sure if we'll be ahead of is Spurs and Villa. And I'll tell you why. Spurs, as much as people looking at their signings and they don't think they've done enough, I think they've added decent players in Archie Gray, Solanke, and what's the Swedish guy's name again? Fuck, someone tell me in the chat right now. You know what I'm talking about. The guy, the attacking midfielder.
Gone.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh, you said your head's gone. Someone in the chat will remind me right now. Swedish guy. Anyways, I'm looking at these signings, and it's like it's not really like shiny signings, but they've been good for them so far. And I really Bergvall, thank you. And I'm looking at Solanke especially, and you know what I think about Solanke, Terry. I think he's gonna come in and he's gonna score at least 20 goals for him. So I'm looking at this team, and I think they have a better manager than us, and they've already played better football than us. I look at them and I'm like, could they get some form and finish ahead of us in top 4? Aston Villa, the only worry is Champions League football, as Lawless said earlier. They're not used to playing Champions League football. And they did make a few changes. Douglas Luiz out, and now they got, what's his name, Onana and Weston McKennie in. I don't know how they're going to look like, but I still think they have a very good manager. And they're a shot for top 4. And both of them, I'm not going to lie, I think Emery and Postecoglou are better than our manager. So both of them have better managers than us. But we probably have a bigger squad than them. So it's going to be one of those 3. I want to back United for it. A part of me being a fan wants me to say we'll finish ahead of them.
Can I ask you a question? I've put us in the top 4, which we spoke about yesterday. I think we're going to have a decent season. Do you feel that how we perform, and I know it's one game, but do you feel like your confidence will improve if tonight we hold the ball well? We don't have those, because we didn't, again, against City at the weekend. I know that a lot of us want to improve on the 2024 version of Casemiro, but because we were more compact in the middle and didn't isolate him, we weren't being run through like before. If those things are addressed and we're playing better football, scoring goals, and look less vulnerable, will that make you more confident, like almost instantly, of getting top 4?
Yeah, because a part of me just wants, like, bro, like, I don't want to get too excited. You know, I want to like remain composed a little bit, not predict too much in the beginning, because at the end of the day, there's a lot about Ten Hag that I don't rate. Everything that you said, obviously, if I see that, I'm gonna get gassed, and most of us will get gassed. You know, I already see a lot of the negative United fans still getting gassed. So we're all looking at this season, and we like a lot of the business that Ineos has done. You know, so we improved. Our squad 100% improved. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, I still believe there's a lot of flaws in Ten Hag's game where I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the signings that he can make during the game, his man management, even the starting 11 he could put out. And I expect a lot of mistakes still because I don't rate him like that. So it's like we will improve, but I still think he'll still make too many mistakes where it's going to hold us back. Like last game, as an example, I hated when he took out Ahmad for Garnacho that early because I'm like, I get what you're trying to do, but Ahmad was our best player. Why not keep him on and bring on Garnacho for someone else who was not performing well? Rashford is having a stinker. If you really want to go, move Ahmad to the midfield and then take off. I do things like this. I do get that. This I don't rate.
I do get that, but I also think in the cold, hard light of day, I think that was more to do with preparation for the season. I know. So that's just what's hard about it. Yeah. So I think today's starting lineup, and we'll get onto the game a bit later, is going to be key. I was going to ask Lawless who he thinks is making top 4, but he's
West Ham and someone else.
He's done a Burton super chat here. Says off topic. Did City's charges went from 115 to 130? I've not read anything about that, bro. So I don't know. Everything said for West Ham, you can say about Chelsea. That Chelsea are.
Did you say the same thing about Chelsea?
No, I think he did.
If he's talking to me.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea could just. I think he was actually talking to Lawless, but Chelsea is such an interesting one. So many teams get stuck in process, never get out.
Facts.
Yeah, I think it becomes a comfort blanket for a lot of people. You know, the Liverpool fans trying to say they're at the beginning of a rebuild is nonsense. Even West Ham, Like West Ham are changing their style of football and everything, so you could argue. But it isn't a complete rebuild. You're not rebuilding your stadium, your training facilities. You're not sacking half your board and recruitment teams. Like, we have to be really fair about these things here. And that's not me trying to create an excuse for Man United. I still expect a trophy this year. I still expect high progression. But yeah, you can't just say the word process and lump everything in together. But yeah, Lawless, who's your top 4 picks?
Man City, in this order. Arsenal. Yeah, Liverpool, providing Slot don't try to make too many changes from Klopp, you know what I mean, and rip things up and start again. And I hate to say it, Spurs 4th. I hate to say it. Postecoglou's second season, lessons learned from the first. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, but there's some signs. Yeah,
as a West Ham fan saying that, that's mad.
Yeah.
Clip him. We found him.
Hopefully for them, and it seems there's some evidence that they're addressing the set piece weakness in pre-season, so that was big for them. So if they make those improvements and sign some other key players, Solanke I think is good signing with Richarlison as depth, who had quite a decent goal return for the games he played last season. Yeah, I think they've got enough there to build on that and get top 4.
They could. You already said as well, you're predicting in that prediction, you predicted Man City to win the league. So I'll go to Staffy right now. And I know it might change by the end of the transfer window. We've seen a few games by then as well. Who's your pick to be the English Premier League champions come May 2025?
As long as Pep is alive and breathing and walking on English soil, I gotta say it's him, man. If this means, listen, if he does a 5-peat, but that means he finally leaves, as much as it would hurt, because we'll never probably break that record, Pep, just take your last Premier League and leave. I almost said leave my country. I don't live there, but leave my league, please.
Man's out here gatekeeping.
Stop living in England, confirmed.
He'll come to your country and dominate the MLS next.
Bro, you know what's so funny, Lawless? Actually, that you said that. There's deluded American fans that think we should approach Pep. I don't know why I said we. I don't even support that team. But they said they should approach Pep to support the U.S. men's national, to take over the U.S. men's national team. I swear this is the real thing.
They got Poch.
Yeah. You know who said that, Terry, actually? Chike, he super chats a lot here. He said that the U.S. have enough money to approach, who did he say? He said Pep. I think he said Pep, Carlo Ancelotti, and Arteta, something like that. Or Pep, Klopp, and Arteta, something like that.
Wait, why don't you support the American football team, national football team, but you support the American national basketball team?
Because I don't like how they don't rate the sport here.
Turncoat. He's a turncoat.
Yeah.
No. So I'll tell you why. They don't rate the sport here that high. Like when I first moved from Egypt and I came here, it was very hard to play football because it's not accessible. So in Egypt, I could play football anywhere. There was pitches everywhere, even if we play on concrete or anything. There was too much access to football. I've been to England. I see how much you guys have football pitches everywhere. When you come here, you see that for baseball and you see that for basketball, and you see that technically for American football. You don't see a lot of access for. I'm going to say soccer just to differentiate.
However,
it from
why don't you support Egypt's basketball team?
Because I couldn't name you one player that plays that.
I think what you do, I think you're like, do you know what? America will probably win most of the basketball tournaments, like the Olympics.
No, Loki, I want
to. Because you know the American team, the men's American team are winning nothing ever. You're like, well, I won't support them.
That's not true. Because I wanted Serbia to beat them because I like Jokic more. And people were like, oh, look at this guy. He's not American. He hates America. Move him out of this country. You know what they tell me? And this is a real thing, Terry. UK people told me to stick to the USA. USA people tell me to move to UK. I'm banned by 2 countries. No one wants me. Because they think I hate on the US and UK thinks I hate on the No one likes me, bro.
Just go Canada, man. That's isn't it? That's the
bro. I'm just gonna move back to Egypt, bro. Listen, football terrorists put me on a mega contract, and I'll just move back to Egypt, bro. No one is gonna worry.
Love it. The US national team has more drama than a soap opera. Yeah, I remember reading something a good year or so ago now about who's the young upcoming player in the American men's team. Plays
the one that they signed at City, or like
no, the one that was at Dortmund a little while back.
Reyna, yeah.
Reyna, but he's that. It was like you get this at school level or Sunday League children's level in England, where a parent is getting involved with the coaching team and telling them what to do and stuff. This was going on at the men's national team level. I honestly couldn't believe what I was reading and what I was seeing. It was just absolutely crazy. This here says this City winning the league depends on their trial. In reality, they could get kicked out the league this year. No one knows. It will come down to the trial. Do you guys think the trial will have any impact even when it's going on? Do you think it could distract the players at all, or will it just be business as usual?
That, bro. Come on. They want a treble and a 4P doing all that. They don't care, bro. They're a very good team.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the thing. I mean, I think that's a very good point. It's going to be interesting. I mean, on that comment, they could get kicked out of the league this year. I think it's going to be dragged out, right? I know that it starts in early next January, is it, or something, or September or something this year. The actual thing starts, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, I think it'll be dragged out probably till beyond this season, just based on how a lot of these things work. Don't take my word as gospel, but I just have a feeling that this year it won't have any effect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think these guys are too professional, and even if they're worried about being relegated, most of these City players, the top ones, know well if we do get relegated and released, they're all going to get new clubs. Their lives are going to be fine. They're guaranteed their money. I don't think they're stressed at all. Look, if they're found guilty of all those charges and they're and again, everyone's got a different opinion. You know, I've seen some financial experts, Stefan as an example, who, you know, he's an ex-City employee, but he thinks they'll clear their name. City fans think they'll clear it. There are other experts that thinks they're banging trouble. No one quite knows because all we've seen is the leaked emails. You know, it's an opinion based on very little information. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they theoretically could be relegated this season if whether it's by points deduction or literally kicked out the league, so no one knows. But I do think in reality, Arsenal have a chance. I do get what you guys are saying, that they are the favourites right now because they're my favourites today as things stand. But how close do you think Arsenal will come this season, in your opinion, Lawless?
Oh, that's an interesting one. All right, like points deductions and all of that aside, let's just act as if everything's going to be normal. How close will they come? I think within a few points. I think it will be within, say, 4 points or so, around that margin. You know, if they can keep up. But there's going to be a point where, they're going to have to get there. They're going to have to get over the line and have this window, because sometimes teams do regress. It's not always just a straight linear path like that, right? That teams just improve year on year and get better and better. You can have a year where you have a dip in form, and it's going to be very interesting for sure. But I think they should be, if they don't win it, they should be very, very close within a few points, I think.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think they've got that certain chance. That Gio Reyes stuff happened all because of playtime. No, I get it happened for a reason, but the parents being involved is crazy. Chelsea's team is better than Man United, West Ham, and Tottenham. You're all talking trash.
So your opinion is valid because you paid a super chat, but our opinion is rubbish because you don't like it.
Nicholas,
where's the logic behind it, Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas, you've paid a super chat, which I respect, but what you haven't done in that super chat is explain why. You've just made a statement. We need to know why because this is the thing. You can make a statement that's true, but your rationale behind it might still be wrong. And I think when it comes to football opinions, the logic is more important than the outcome. I might predict Man United winning tonight. Staffy might predict Man United winning tonight. Staffy may say we're going to win 5-0 easy. I may say it's going to be a close 1-0 as an example. Now, if Man United win, we're both not right still. How the game went, how he played, what happened in the match is key. Because if we do go and win 3-0, I can't say, well, I predicted a win as well. My prediction is still wrong. So I'd love to know why you think it, Nicholas, my friend. But thank you very much for the super chat.
There's an argument for that to be true on paper. You said on paper for them to have their players, right, their squad to be better than Man United and Spurs on paper. But the problem with Chelsea is they have a lot of individuals and they don't have a better team, a better cohesive team than Man United or Spurs. That is the problem. You can look and say, well, this individual is better than this individual, and this individual is better than this individual, but it don't bear out. And at the moment, Chelsea have the most inexperienced manager. You know what I mean? Whatever they say about Ten Hag,
we have better managers than them.
Yeah, he's a better manager. Like Ten Hag, he's won trophies in this country with Man United, with the team he's managing now. You know, he's won trophies in other countries. And same with Postecoglou, both better managers. So,
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. To this City fan that says, Terry said this crap last year that Arsenal were the favourites. No, I didn't. I predicted City to win the league at the start of the season, and I never once changed my mind. And right now, you're my favourite. So when you're getting angry, you're a City fan. This is cognitive dissonance 101, ladies and gentlemen that are tuning in. I've said City are the favourites. Yeah, he's angry because I've said Arsenal got a chance. Unless you, I don't see you're going mental, my old mate. You're losing your marbles, brother. Weird take. Nav here says, I think there's a link between PGMOL and City to them. Sorry, PGMOL Premier League and City. Them two I'm looking at because of how you not know about all. I don't know what that's trying to say.
Because how did you not know about all of this? What are them to hide? Yeah, so they're just trying to say they knew.
But what's the PGMOL got to do with it? That's the Referees Association. That's why I'm confused. I mean, Nav, mate, I respect the super chat, and I know I'm dyslexic, so I'm trying to read that, but I have no idea what you're trying to say. The PGMOL have nothing to do with these charges, in my humble opinion. Now, if you're talking about the new rule that referees can't referee games of clubs they support or from cities they're from, fair. There's then another conflict of interests. Surely these same managers can't go and get paid by the Man City owner to referee games in the homeland. Because that's, for me, if you're getting paid stupid amounts of money to go and do that, that's going to be even a bigger conflict of interest compared to a childhood team you supported. So if that's what you're saying,
think they was going to release the teams that they support and then they backpedal on it like instantly? There's like, yeah, we're going to tell you all the teams that the refs support, and they went, actually, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, well, do you know what it is? It will just kick up countless problems with things from the past, and they're just better off not. The problem now is if suddenly a manager doesn't ever referee an Arsenal game again, or a West Ham game again, or a Man United game again, you're going to know anyway. And there'll be some anoraks out there that are going to sit there and study it, and then they're going to put all the data through Chat TTB and go, tell me which one. And Chat GTP will give them an answer.
I feel like a lot of them lie. Like, what was his flipping name? Who retired? Oh, how have I forgotten his name? He was the most hated ref.
Anthony. Anthony.
He retired like last year, didn't he? Flipping Mark. Was it Mark?
Mark Clattenburg.
No, not Clattenburg. No. He's that. But he said he said he supported Tranmere Rovers. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was the team.
Oh, I know what you mean, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Mike Dean. That's him. Yeah, that's the guy.
I hate him. But yeah, his whole thing is, I'm a Tranmere Rovers fan. Yeah, all right, mate. Whatever. I think that's a lot of
fans like Staffy are needed to increase the football awareness in the US. The USA is already the best national team in North America. That's true. That's true. You're better than Canada, and that's it. There's only 2 nations in North America, right? Or am I missing one?
No, Mexico.
Oh, so I thought that was Central. Is that considered North America? I thought it was Central America.
No, it's North America.
Okay. Then no, you're not the best. Then you're not the best team. Mexico, in my opinion, are better. Generally speaking, historically, are a better footballing team than America.
Mexican football. I mean, when I was in LA, you should hear how Mexicans talk about Mexican football now. They talk about how they've been disgusting over the last 10 plus years. Okay, they talk about how bad they've become. They haven't. I don't know when's the last time they won a Gold Cup from the US. The thing about the US that they have an advantage on, the US is just too diverse, which is why it pisses me off. You have too many people from different nationalities here. Like, you could look at them. They have so many Mexicans that have US citizenships and play for them. It's like you have so many Colombians that live here. You have so many like South Americans, Africans, Arabs. You literally have everything. You could put the most diverse team out there. You're a country of 300 million, but you can't put at 11 to go out and compete.
The problem that you have is that football in America, like soccer in America, is very middle class, and they're not going into the working class.
Oh,
places.
it's so expensive. It's so expensive.
They're not, and generally in life, generally speaking, most athletes come from working class backgrounds. I think there's something about
I agree with you.
The fight to get out of where they are. Some sports, some tennis is kind of a middle class type sport, especially here in England and a few others. But typically speaking, the big sports, it's working class people, and I think there's a drive and a desire and a fight within working class people that I think you grow up wearing silk pajamas. It's especially in my old sport when
you have to pay like $1,000 a month to put your kid in academies here.
Yeah, people can't afford to do it. And
I always look at football. Yeah. Football is a poor man's sport. They play it all over the world. Go to anywhere, you'll see them playing in the streets, except for here. I could drive right now and record a video for you, Terry. I could show you kids playing basketball. I can show you a bunch of Dominicans playing baseball, but I can't show you any footage of any kids playing football.
No, I hear you, and that's why they don't develop in the same way. Nicholas is back, and he says compared player for player with Chelsea against Man United, and then be honest, just look at the midfield.
We have a better goalkeeper. We have a better back line. You have a better midfield, and we have a better front line. Cole Palmer is the only one that I highly rate in your front line. Pedro Neto's good too, don't get me wrong. But we have
so what's your front line that you're putting against theirs? What is the front line you're putting? Garnacho.
So unless they sign Osimhen, we have technically we have Hoyland and Xerxes, they have Nico Jackson. Now that's better for us because first of all, they only have one striker to our two. Now you look at the wingers, their left wing I think is dead unless Pedro Neto plays there. I don't rate Sterling anymore. And what's his name? Mudryk is a joke. I'm not even talking about it. Cole Palmer, that right hand side is his. The midfield, yes, they have a better midfield. I rate their midfield more. They have a joke of a goalkeeper, and their midfield is their back line is not good. Gusto's good, but we have Delo and Mazraoui there, so we got the depth there. They can't put one center back partnership out there where we think is decent. So I rate our center back partnerships more. And left back, who did I have in left back?
Cucurella they've got.
Yeah, Cucurella is decent, but he's not like I don't think he's high level. I rate Shaw.
Eden here says all those who are saying Chelsea are crap and wasted 1.5 billion will turn and say, of course you look good now with how much you've spent when we finish third. I mean, that could also happen and people will have egg on their faces. Quick prediction for tonight, Staffy. Lawless, how do you think Man United versus Fulham is going to go, the opening Premier League game of this campaign?
I think United are going to win 3-1. I think we're going to create a lot of chances. Yeah, they don't have Palhinha no more, Lawless. So I think that's going to be...
They did all right with him. He was injured for quite a while, wasn't he? Was it last season he had a bad injury, Palhinha?
Yeah, but like I looked at us, and to be fair, we have been creating a lot of chances. Our front line looks a little bit more fluid. I think we'll play Bruno in the false nine again. And to be fair, it's been working for us since we started doing it than the last season. It gives us more legs in the midfield because now you run a midfield of what's his name? Meno, Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount. And that gives you a lot of legs there. Bruno doing that false nine job has been working. It allows for a lot of box crashing from other players. And Ahmad on that right side has been good. You have Garnacho coming on, I think, in the second half. And to be fair, the kid has been getting his goals, so I got to give him respect for that. The only worry is the left-hand side. See, there, I give respect, bro, when it's due. It's just my opinion changes when you give me new evidence. That's all it is. When you don't do what I don't expect from you, then I'm just going to call it out. But the only worry I have is the left-hand side. I'm not going to lie. Rashford looks he just looks so off it. And if he that last game, he should have buried that chance he had against City. If he continues that's a worry for me. But yeah, our backline is going to be the best thing. I'm very excited to watch our backline because we're going to have Delo, Martinez, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. Just those two fullbacks allow you to play so much higher up the pitch because you actually could trust them to keep the ball well and move the ball well. So there's a lot of technical ability just from your right back and left back. So I expect a lot of chances to be created. So we'll see. I think 3-1.
My score prediction is the same as yours. I think 3-0 or 3-1. I think we'll win. And this won't get us through every game, but there is a feel-good factor around Man United at the moment. I think fans are, especially the match-going fans, they have a sense that maybe this is the start of a new dawn. That could be short-lived. However, I think today the atmosphere will be raucous. I think the players feel good after pre-season. There's going to be the adjustments to how we play, the new signings. And I think we'll just have we have too much for Fulham today. Doesn't mean Fulham won't have good passages and whatever else, but I think this game, United will show up, and I'm gonna nail it in. I'm gonna go 3-0 Man United tonight.
I can't see it going the way that you both hope. It's going to be a very tough game, a lot of back and forth. I think you've got, a Smith Rowe who's I think is going to be energized and have something to prove, and I think he'll have a very good game. And I think it will be a draw. I think it'll be a 2-2 in this game, which isn't a disastrous start for Man United. It's, if you lose, I think it starts off on the wrong foot. But I know you want to win, but. Yeah, I think this game, I can see it being a draw. Where is it? Is it at Old Trafford or is that Fulham?
It's at Old Trafford.
Okay.
That's why I mean the fans and things like that. Like, I think that's going to play a part. I think it's going to play a part tonight.
Okay, I'll edge it 2-1 then Man United, just on the Old Trafford factor. You have got a really good record there. And
I'd take 2-1 now as long as we're playing well. As long as we're playing well and you go, there's something to grow from. I love this here that says your manager even said your team's not ready. Yeah, no one in the top 6 is ready. City aren't ready because of this is because of the Euros and the Copa America. So most of the teams in the top 6 are not ready yet in terms of all of their best players fit, ready, and available. Some of it's injury, some of it's the signings haven't happened yet, and some of it's because City are not ready for Chelsea because they haven't got Rodri. Like, they're not at their optimum best. People have listen, I will defend Ten Hag on this. These words are taken out of context on that. And he also said on Sky that he aims to try and win every competition that he's in. Sky's headline was, Ten Hag thinks Man United can win the league. Complete and utter It wasn't even a misrepresentation. They lied. And first of all, there was community notes. And the community notes have been taken off now, which I think is ridiculous from X. Because that's the kind of thing that, whether you like him or loathe him, you can't lie about what he said. He essentially said that we haven't got all our players back yet. We've got a few more signings to bring in. So we're not quite ready, but we get on with it. But that's the same for everyone. Arsenal ain't ready. Merino's not in. They haven't got the striker. City have only just got back the English and the Spanish players into their team. They're not ready for the start of the season. Come on now. Let's speak fair. Luke here says, smash the like button. Thank you, Luke, for that super chat. It means a great deal to us. And please, everyone, if you haven't done so yet, hit it for us. Nicholas says, remember all our injuries last season, we were 6th and you were 8th. I mean, yeah, Man United.
There's no relevancy in this. Yeah, there's no relevance.
We had injuries.
We had injuries.
All sorts of
Our manager, I'm not gonna lie, wasn't applying the best tactics. Anyways, I think he was holding us back. And yeah, you're not the same team you were last year. Neither are we.
Yeah.
So if you didn't go ahead and sign 15 different players, I would have assumed that comment was relevant, but it's really not.
But Nav says PG, MOL, and the Premier League need looking into. They screwed Wolves over nicely. It's a shout. No one wants it. Only the big clubs get rich. Rich get rich, poor get poorer. I mean, but that isn't true, is it? Because Brighton weren't a rich club, and they've just gone on 3 summers running. They broke their transfer spend record. So that's a poor club that's got richer and richer. And when we say like the poor just get poorer and the rich get richer, I do get what you mean. There are elites in the world that are horrible. But I know a lot of poor working class people that have done really good for themselves. I just don't buy into it as a blanket view of the world, personally. But that's just me. Look, I want to thank everyone that's tuned in today. Always a pleasure. We're live after Manchester United take on Fulham. So I want to see you all back here. I know most of you, if Man United win, won't be here. You'll run off. You'll be hiding, bro. But I want to see you all here at full time. Lawless, Staffy, always a pleasure, gentlemen, to sit and speak football with you. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.